What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Cinema Review. My name is Scott. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Suicide Squad movie directed by James Gunn, and this will also be a spoiler-free review. So I'm going to start this review by giving you my thoughts on the 2016 Suicide Squad, which was directed by David Ayer. I know it's kind of tough to talk about this movie right now because David Ayer has come out and said that the version we got was not the movie he wanted, similar to the Snyder Cut. But that being said, looking at the 2016 version as it is, it's not a good movie at all. When I first saw it in theaters, I was probably around like 16 years old. And I liked it a lot, actually, the first time I saw it. I mean, as a 16-year-old kid, I don't know what I would rate it. I wasn't really rating movies back then. I was just going to superhero movies just to enjoy them. And Suicide Squad had a fun soundtrack. I mean, just seeing another Joker since like Heath Ledger was like so weird to me. I thought it was so cool. So I liked that aspect. And I went to the theater 5 times for that movie. And I never really got tired of it, I guess. I saw it that many times. But now that I watch it, I really don't like it. I see a lot of the flaws. I don't have fun with it. The first 5 minutes are fun just because of the soundtrack. But after that, the movie just goes downhill. The characters are stupid. Enchantress is bad. Jared Leto's Joker, I mean, I feel bad for saying it because I do like Jared Leto, but it's not that good. It's probably the worst interpretation of the Joker we've seen, you know. So that being said, this movie is better than that version. And going into this movie, I did have high expectations. As you know, it is getting a lot of really good reviews out there. I am a big fan of the DC movies and the DC comics, but unfortunately, the last two DC EU movies have left a bad taste in my mouth. Wonder Woman 1984, I didn't like that much, even though I love the first Wonder Woman. It just felt way too campy. And then Birds of Prey, I know some people like it. It's just not really my type of movie. I don't like the style. I don't really care for the story. And the whole, like, getting the crystal out of this little girl's butt. She swallows the diamond, right? I don't know. It's too campy for me. It's just a little bit too much both those movies. So with this movie, I was like, hopefully we can get back on track. I don't need you to connect it like Marvel does with everything else. Please, let's just make a good movie first, and then we can figure out where we're going from there. Like I said before, this movie is directed by James Gunn, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the two films he's most notable for. And with this film, he's solidifying that he's one of the best directors to make a comic book movie. The first Guardians movie, I love so much. I think it's a top 5 Marvel movie in my opinion. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I like a lot too. It's got a lot of emotions in there with the father and Yondu, and I really enjoyed it. Now that we got all the background stuff out of the way, let me actually break down to you my thoughts on the Suicide Squad movie without going into any spoilers. Starting with the positives, let me say the movie starts out great. It's a fun introduction. We get all these wacky characters. The setup to the story was actually really good. We kind of know what the Suicide Squad movies are always going to be like. You know, as the comics, they always follow the same thing. We're on a mission. Amanda Waller's got chips in your head. If you don't follow the mission, Amanda Waller will blow up your head, right? All these guys are fugitives that she takes from the prison. And so pretty much the whole first act, I really, really liked. The movie's really comic booky, and once you see the movie, you'll realize, what I'm talking about. I don't want to go into any too spoilers. There's a couple of little things I liked that I didn't know was going to be in this movie, and I still really love Harley Quinn. Obviously, she's the best part of the previous Suicide Squad movie. She still does a great job in Birds of Prey, even though I'm not a big fan of the movie. She's probably the best adaptation of Harley Quinn we'll ever see ever. My favorite character ended up actually being Peacemaker. I thought John Cena did a really good job with this movie. After seeing him in Fast 9 as the villain, I didn't really like him in Fast 9. It's not really his fault, but the script just makes him just not a cool character at all, not a likable character. He's supposed to be the villain, but he still is not interesting at all. So for this one, he's got comedic timing and he's got just likable aspects, and there's more to him as the story progresses. And I think John Cena is a fine actor. I think he's a really good comedy actor. If you've seen Blockers, he's actually really funny in that. So now I'm actually going to hold off on talking about the second act because that's where a lot of my negatives actually lie. But the third act was a lot of fun. It was really great. A lot of unexpected moments, a lot of cool twists. The story gets further unraveled, which is something I was waiting for throughout the whole movie. I'll get into it in a second. But it really hits hard in the third act. They do a great job at just putting everything together. I thought the ending was really cool. So to wrap up my overall positive thoughts, the first act and third act were really great. It's honestly a fun time throughout the whole movie. A lot of good comedy jokes. It's bloody, it's gory, it's really comic booky. So if you're really into that, if you're just like a fun person, you want to just have a really fun time. You don't really care about a narrative story that is further unpacked, and you just want like a really entertaining movie. This is exactly what you want. So now that the positives are out of the way, let me explain to you why the second act really didn't do too much for me. Like I said, a lot of my negatives lie in the second act, and it's because we move away from our main story. It becomes with a lot of like subplots, and it's like focused on this weird Harley subplot, where it's like we kind of have to like go get Harley now. It's just kind of like weird. Like I just want us to get back into like the main objective. I also think not every joke lands, and it worked in the first act because we were still like progressing our story with the jokes. In the second act, it just felt like a lot of these scenes were just kind of like joke scenes. Like we were just there to like say some jokes, not really tell a story. And I realized too that I don't think every joke landed with me because a lot of the jokes we see in the trailer, a lot of the really great jokes are all shown in the trailer. Like in the like John Cena putting his hand up, Shark saying hand, and Harley Quinn's like, oh, all the angels, it's like they're splooging on us with the rain. Literally, like all those jokes are in the trailer, so it's like you're watching it and like yeah, you're like, oh, good joke, but it's like we heard it already. We already saw that in the trailer. It's like five or six of the really great jokes were all in the trailer. So I think maybe that's why they didn't land as well with me. But I think it's also just because I wanted to go back into the main story. The whole second act, like I said, it focuses more on Harley and like what she's doing, and the group's got to like steer off their main objective to go do this. It was just too. It was just it dragged for too long. So there's also this other villain that comes into play. I know you know that the Thinker is one of the villains you said in the trailer, and the Thinker is kind of like working with these like foreign general government, and so like it kind of focuses like on them a little bit too much, and like we have to like fight them. And I didn't care for them. I wanted to see Starro, and like we weren't getting that really until the third act. So that's kind of why I was mad about the second act. It's not bad, it's just sort of like uninteresting. So to wrap things up in this video, those are my only real negatives, just that second act. The whole movie as a whole, it's great. It really is great. It's a phenomenal DC movie in general, just in live action movies. I'm going to maybe do a video where I rank all the DC live action movies. Not anything before 1966. I haven't seen any of those movies, like from the 30s. Or no, not the 30s, the 50s or whatever. So I'm going to do a video like that. But this movie was really, really great. You're gonna have to wait until I see where I rank it with the other DCEU movies, but it's a fun time. It really is a blast. They do something different, and I really hope this is a new start for the DCEU. I hope this kickstarts a lot of great movies. I really hope they go into this sort of direction with their movies. Obviously, James Gunn can do his own thing with his own characters. I think DC is like the most strong when they're focusing on character narratives that are really dark. So Batman or even Superman's got some dark storylines. Superman don't gotta go dark, like Man of Steel, even though I do love Man of Steel. But yeah, the Suicide Squad was a fun movie. Hopefully Warner Brothers has learned from their mistakes. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get any more Snyder Cut stuff, even though I might make a video where, I won't spoil it. But hopefully Warner Brothers has learned their lesson, and hopefully just we have more better DC movies like this because we haven't been getting too many of them. And yeah, I'm excited for the Peacemaker show that's coming from this. James Gunn has hit it out of the park. So I'll be giving this movie a 4.2 out of 5. It's a very entertaining and bloody comic book movie. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope you guys like this. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.